Horsey, you saved my life.
No problem, Peter. Glad to help out.
Wow, Gilbert Gottfried.
That's right.
The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Merry Christmas, Wolfpack! It's time we finally deliver the gift our Midnight Society fans have been waiting for. A goofy review from your favorite festive feline catastrophe on the beloved Are You Afraid of the Dark classic, The Tale of Station 109.1. Godfrey Day, bitch!
Now this feels like Christmas.
It goes without saying that this was one of the most legendary titles the Nickelodeon horror saga ever tailored, as it features some unnerving existential terror, humorous comedy, an incredible adventure, solid imagination, and actually showcases fabulous performances from two awe-inspiring stars, which turned a low-budget kids show into a chaotic religious experience. So yeah, this is a mildly popular one. This episode features a young Ryan Gosling and comedy all-star Gilbert Gottfried. Who's Gilbert Gottfried? I'm glad you asked, House. For those of you who are too young or somehow aren't aware of fun, Gilbert Gottfried is one of the funniest goofballs alive. Prior to his S-rank status now, he was a rising comedian back in the 90s, where he earned his big break on SNL, back when it was good, and he slowly rose to high success once his career took flight.
Affleck.
He's been in movies, TV shows, angry video game nerd crossovers, and most of us would likely recognize the guy's distinct voice as many of our favorite cartoon characters.
There's a big surprise. That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise. No! Repeat after me, bright boy. It's mix. Yes. Spit. Lick. Mandy! We can't help who we fall in love with. Nancy was a vampire long before I met her.
Let's just say that Gilbert has a real talent for utilizing an annoying, angry voice, which has both endeared him to many fans and irritated some as well. Personally, I love this guy. Gilbert Gottfried is hilariously hammy, and it's quite amazing how he managed to make a career out of his shrill, whiny voice, since it practically turns the guy into a living Looney Tune. I understand that the funny voice isn't for everyone, but how could anyone deny his sexy allure?
Holy fuck, is this wrong? But holy hell, is it erotic?
If you can believe it or not, Are You Afraid of the Dark was able to obtain some decently huge celebrities to play supernatural roles in their zany Nightmare series, with Gottfried being one of the absolute best. Or was he? I saved this episode for last among the original run of Are You Afraid of the Dark, since I did think this was one of the more unique tales. Quite possibly my favorite. No joke, I am not even a hardcore Are You Afraid of the Dark fan at all, yet this episode managed to be my favorite. It was that impressive. I dare say that this episode is the Uncle Howie of Are You Afraid of the Dark. Much like Tom Kenny, Gilbert plays a mischievous maniac who can come across as both playfully fun while also having some dark, terrifying moments as well. I legit think this Are You Afraid of the Dark tale can hold a candle to the greatness of the Haunting Hour. But enough worshipping Gilbert's ego. What's this episode about? To put it vaguely, this is a story which explores the trials a person faces when stuck between life and death. A young child who obsesses over death itself crosses into a netherrealm of lost souls, where he soon gains more than what he bargained for. Sounds ideal for wacky comedy, eh? Like I said, this episode balances an ever-shifting tone very well, yet we'll see if that equals gold. By the way, this is also the episode which concludes the new Midnight Society recruit Stig's arc. Oh yay, the most unlikable and forgettable rookie finally gets his answer if he made the team or struck out.
Hey, if I don't get a fair shot, I'm out of here.
No, wait. You've got a chance.
Stig was sadly a ditzy comic relief character who did not catch on with viewers, especially fans of the Midnight Society segments. The kid was merely a gross, whinier copy of Tucker. He did tell two of this show's greatest stories ever, but that's as far as his accomplishments go. The new teammate simply failed to stand out, nor win much love. Heck, even the Midnight Society hates him.
Come here, give us a hug.
No way.
Control him or I'll throw you both out.
Will his story about Gilbert Gottfried earn him a seat by the campfire? We'll see. I've jibber-jabbered about every tale from this show, some gaining their own videos, some just getting sent to the safer rapid-fire shorts because copyright hates us, but this is the final tale left from the original era of Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I think this plot of all deserves a thorough viewing. Is this episode still that dazzling hit which made people fall in love with Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or is it another poorly aged, overhyped mess, not as angelic as we recall? I love Gilbert Gottfried, and I love horror. But do I love Gilbert Gottfried and horror together? That's what we plan to find out. So, pick a number and seat, cause we're taking one psychotic census. Submitted for the review of the Midnight Society, this is...
The Tale of Station 109.1.
So, our episode opens up at a child's funeral, only to reveal that, psych, it's really our living protagonist, Chris Leary, a dourly grim boy going through what I can only describe as a PG goth phase, since he has a loving fascination for death. He apparently hung out with his friends at the ghostly stair cemetery, and from that point on, he learned to love the morbid world of macabre, which worries his fam. We also meet our secondary protagonist, Chris's big brother, played by Ryan Gosling.
What a cheesehead.
Ryan Gosling? Wow, we all know who he is. Yeah. Young Hercules!
What is a performance that you've given? Something that you're insanely proud of?
My work on Young Hercules.
Really?
I had a fake tan, leather pants, was fighting imaginary monsters. They weren't really there, but I was acting like they were there.
Awesome! Young Hercules ain't afraid of no goths! I should point out that Ryan Gosling is not actually our real main character. A common misconception folks had was that he was the main kid, but he's not. This was evidently Gosling's first big acting gig. However, he's the supporting side character to his goth brother, Ricky the Rat. It's kind of funny by today's standards since we know how great Gosling is now, yet he's mostly sidelined in this tale's B-plot. He'll eventually gain his close-up in a certain spooky camera tale.
Say cheese.
He does perfectly fine in this episode, and Ricky the Rat is definitely a good choice for him to share screen time with, so it's still well performed. I can safely say the child acting is good in this tale, luckily. But hey, if you ain't impressed that our kid heroes are Ricky the Rat and a Blade Runner, just wait until we meet the grown-up talent. Ryan Gosling tires of his goth bro's weirdness. He views Chrissy's emo phase as an annoyance, so he seeks to scare him straight and ungoth him.
Hey, what you playing?
Hangman.
Figures.
Conformist.
To be fair, our hero's gothness has affected his family, and he does display some creepy mindsets, such as tormenting insects and scaring the heck out of people. So Ryan Gosling's not entirely unjustified in wanting his bro to be normal, yet he does act like the mean brother until his own character growth. This episode shares a similar setup to Train Magic, where both the brothers have their own obstacles to overcome. The mean sibling rebuilding their love for their younger sibling, and the main character working through some unhealthy lifestyle, which is causing more harm than innocent escapism. This episode thankfully doesn't mock goths, but rather shows how our hero's growing detached from reality, forming a rift between him and his family, making him depressing and antisocial. Essentially, our kid hero has to realize his attitude is poisoning him, and he needs to adjust for a more stable mindset. I think that's a good lesson for kids, especially since it's showing how his cynicism is wasting his life and even affecting those who love him. They're not trying to change his persona. Our hero simply has to cease his obsession and look beyond. Though it does get a tad silly how fearful the fam is over his edginess. I guess being overly paranoid of goth kids beyond belief is a Canada thing.
Canadians are weird!
Ryan attempts to impress his bro with the hearse he and his boss are working on at the auto shop.
Yeah, and I just came back from a funeral.
No way!
But his bro jump scares him by activating the hearse and locking him inside in an attempt to scare him normal.
Conformist. Yeah.
But while fumbling around, Chrissy hears a strange radio broadcast, piquing his curiosity.
This is 109.1, radio for the dimensionally challenged.
Sometimes we miss the chance to step over and need guidance. That's where we come in, friends.
This is Station 109.1, a horror channel which claims to have a vast knowledge of the mysterious unknown, naturally intriguing our edgelord. While he hears the scary channel, Ryan Gosling has his own spooky encounter.
Can you help me?
Huh?
Can you help me find the way home?
Old Man Corcoran? What are you doing here? We blew the budget on Gilbert Gottfried, so we're recycling actors. Oh, I kinda thought there was a more magical reason behind this. I mean, Are You Afraid of the Dark implies that it shares a universe and all. Yes, kiddies, this minor oddball is Old Man Corcoran, this time acting as a more ominous ghost. Don't worry, he's not the child killer this round. He's leaving that to our real antagonist. Thanks to this scary channel, Chrissy has grown even more obsessed with death and hopes to find this Station 109.1 in order to learn more. But alas, this channel is shrouded in shadow. Why, he can't even gain info on it from his 90s computer. So he has to go further into a place dubbed the Internet.
Huh. Tell me more about this Internet. Do you think it'll ever catch on?
Wow, look at that old school desktop. Making web videos like this reminds me how far we've grown. He manages to find a location for the station, but upon exploring, he encounters lots of odd old folks.
Excuse me? Do you know the way home?
You think you're lost? You should see that guy.
For the love of God, help me! I've been here for 4 days and a turtle's got a hold of my teeth! There he is!
Chrissy arrives at Warehouse 109.1, only to find more ominous people waiting around as if in a trance. You see, the elderly people acting strange in the neighborhood are really lost souls. They came to the station to seek answers, exactly like Chrissy, yet something is off about them, making them quite unsettling. My clever audience probably figured this out easily, but the confused old people are all spirits wandering around the realm of the living, since they don't know where to go after they died. However, this station lures them here to help. All the ghosts are waiting in line until the cosmic forces announce their fate. The haunted station has this eerie atmosphere around it, making it feel like a dreary purgatory where the dead await their ride, but it's also unwelcoming towards our living hero who is way in over his head by now. It's literally death's waiting room, making it both creepy and silly. But then everything changes when he arrives.
Do not knock on the window! What's the matter with you? You can't breathe? Here, knock window. Do not on the. Let's try it together, shall we? Do not knock on the window! Do not knock on the window! What's the matter with you? You can't breathe? Here, knock window. Do not on the. Let's try it together, shall we? Do not knock on the window! Do not knock on the window! What's the matter with you? You can't breathe? Here, knock window. Do not on the. Let's try it together, shall we? Do not knock on the window!
Wait, I'm confused. Can we knock on the window?
At long last, the moment you've all been waiting for, Gilbert Gottfried enters the picture playing DJ Roy. For reals, Gilbert Gottfried is acting as a divine harbinger of doom named DJ Roy. This show really knows how to drop ludicrous BS on us, and I love it so much for that. DJ Roy is the manager of station 109.1, informing our kid hero on the sitch. And it goes without saying, Gottfried totally owns this role, and he undeniably knows how to make this silly setting bossa nova.
This is an interesting phenomenon that's taking place. It's like one person and then there's another one behind them, all standing quietly, one after the other. What do you suppose that is? It's a line! That's what it is! It's a line! Why don't you try waiting in the line?
Gottfried is just as fun, if not more fun than Tom Kenny's Uncle Howie, and I don't say that lightly. DJ Roy is the most amusing Are You Afraid of the Dark foe ever, since he's more angry than Benson. I think he's actually a bigger lovable prick here than when he was as a psychotic dentist.
And now I'm going to get medieval on your mouth.
No, Kitten, what makes Gilbert even more hilarious than his brilliant jokes and zany antics is his character. Gilbert Gottfried is the Grim Reaper. Yes, this is who he's playing. Gilbert Gottfried is the head Grim Reaper, acting as an uptight middle management bureaucrat for God as he guides lost souls into the afterlife, organizes clients for both the big guy upstairs and the demented devil below, and he operates his Purgatory Station as the DMV alongside his co-workers, the Black Riders from Lord of the Rings. The scary Nazgul minions aiding him are mainly the head angel's magic security. I do love how the episode makes them look like our traditional Reapers, however, they're mainly Gottfried's assistants as they carry out the kills. Now, the episode does imply that his station is one of many, suggesting that there are other purgatory stations across the world where the dead can catch a ride to the afterlife. Regardless, Gilbert Gottfried is the new Angel of Death, at least in this district, and acts as our central antagonist. This is why this episode is so enjoyable. Gilbert Gottfried is the guiding light at the end of our journey. The mere idea of this guy being a guardian angel instantly made this tale my favorite episode of the series. Not only is Gottfried just as energetic as Uncle Howie, but his portrayal of a bitter angel is the stuff laughter is made of. The sheer insanity of this setup is genius. I mean, imagine, if you will, that when you die, you're all alone and confused like these poor spirits. You learn you're dead and desperately seek passage towards your final destination. And the only person who can save you now is this guy.
Mickey Mouse on acid. Somebody help me! I'm on the train!
Mr. Reaper, I'd prefer it if you put your hood back on.
It is impossible to not get some jolly kicks out of this. If Gilbert Gottfried playing a divine angel doesn't sound astounding, then you have no sense of humor. Not to mention, the idea that Purgatory is like the DMV for ghosts, where souls are just moving along one by one while cherubs file your life's paperwork, is magnificent. Much like the phone police, Are You Afraid of the Dark successfully takes a goofy premise and simply runs with it unapologetically, making it both creative and totally wicked. I can see why this tale always makes it on top 10 lists. Not only is this an absurdly surreal premise, having epic fun all the way, but Gilbert Gottfried amplifies it over 9,000. It's literally divine comedy. Gilbert Gottfried is a class act. Gilbert Gottfried is a one-man improv show. Gilbert Gottfried is 50 Shades of Grey. Gilbert Gottfried is way sexier than Fabio. Gilbert Gottfried...
Alright, I get it!
Anyways, Chrissy begs DJ Freed for aid, but uh-oh, Roy mistakes the kid for a lost soul and assigns him to death. Basically, DJ accidentally assumes our kid hero is really Old Man Corcoran, since he was in the guy's hearse and the radio message was meant for him. Chrissy tries to tell Roy that he's not dead, but big shot, Gottfried is a dolt, and only responds that he must go, as his black riders don't take no for an answer.
No, you're mistaken! I'm not supposed to go! You made a mistake!
He led a nasty life, and he's gonna lead a much nastier afterlife. Step outside, your turn is coming.
And this is our big conflict. Grim Reaper Gottfried is going to send this kid to hell, and Chrissy has to prove he's not dead before it's his turn. Sweet Gina Carano, is that absolutely horrifying? You know, when this episode's not making us laugh at the legit gallows humor, there's some ghoulish fridge horror here. This poor goth kid is now on a timer and is about to die thanks to some good old-fashioned moronic bureaucracy. I'd hate to see what happens if somebody just absent-mindedly stopped here to use the washroom.
Oh, here are the coffee mugs.
As you can guess, Chrissy runs home to get help, but oh no, Ryan Gosling can't see or hear him because he's a ghost. You see, when Gilbert Gottfried gave him his Purgatory wristband, he was marked for death. It's his ticket to the afterlife, meaning that he's no longer a part of the mortal realm anymore. Chrissy wasted his time worshipping death, but now he's about to learn a lesson the hard way, since now he's trapped in it.
Wow, Ryan Gosling sure is talented at pretending he's not seeing ghosts.
They weren't really there, but I was acting like they were there.
There's no escape now, as Chrissy gets summoned back to the office due to his turn slowly approaching. I really dig these creepy scenes of the kid attempting to ditch the ghost office, only to end up constantly returning every time. That's some Silent Hill terror right there. I'm glad this episode did the inescapable netherworld setting way better than the 2000s Twilight Zone did. Whenever the Goof Reaper isn't on screen, this story does make up for that with uneasy tension like this. This plot is fully capable of having wacky hijinks while also reminding you that death can strike any time. I can see effort at both tones, which truly earns my respect over other fails. There's clearly a desire to make a good story aimed at all ages here, and not rushed crap. Eventually, our kid hero enters the glowing hellish door to find the manager, but don't worry, he doesn't find the hell branch. Instead, the episode reveals DJ Roy's broadcasting office.
You can't come in here unless you're in the union.
Union? What union? I honestly take this in as the only hint that Roy is in fact one of many angels out there, since he implies that there's multiple beyond him also luring and managing souls like he does. A deep world-building concept for a PG hell of a boss. DJ Roy is a far more competent version of DJ Bobby Ricks, just more respected.
It's always a perfect day with DJ Ricks, your on-air friend to the end.
This is where he sends out subliminal messages to lost souls, with his main goal to get them to come seek his address so he can assign them to their afterlife. Station 109.1 is both a travel company and a radio station. DJ Roy and his Black Riders work to collect the souls that God or Satan or whomever destroyer of worlds missed. Like the IRS. Though, I wonder what Roy plays on the station when he's not hosting the show. Do they just loop Stairway to Heaven or Christian rock songs?
All you need to do is follow my voice and I'll help you find the way home.
Raise him!
This is Station 109.1 at the end of your radio dial for spirits at the end of their ropes.
I made that up.
Wow, Gilbert Gottfried ought to consider voice acting.
No, that'll never catch on.
Yeah, you're right. That's as crazy as having Gilbert Gottfried voice General Krang. Chris begs the Reaper to free him, since again, he's not dead. But the DJ doesn't buy it.
You got the wrong guy.
Boy, if I had a dime for every time somebody tried to weasel out of death, it would actually do me no good at all, because I'm dead. What do I need money for? What am I gonna do? I'm dead. What am I gonna do? Buy gum?
Funny point. I always wonder why cosmic entities go into business when they don't even need money.
But you're making a mistake.
I don't make mistakes, buddy boy. When I was alive, I worked for the Department of Motor Vehicles!
Hashtag bureaucrats matter. So it looks like it's a no. But I'll admit, for an episode focused on the comedy, Gilbert Gottfried can surprisingly come across as menacing in some scenes. It's genuinely creepy how this dude goes from a hyper over-the-top ditz into a force of dread.
Ever wonder where the term "your number's up" came from? Now you know.
Okay, now I miss when Death was a pretty goth lady.
There's been a mistake! You got the wrong guy!
Sounds like the Cenobites are at work. After Roy foolishly leaves the kid alone in his office, our hero hacks the magic tech and sends out an SOS to Ryan, begging him to save him from this Devil May Cry level. Gosling doesn't believe him at first, but guess who pops up?
Can you take me there? Can you help me find the way home?
Wow, Ryan Gosling sure is talented at acting afraid of ghoulies.
They weren't really there, but I was acting like they were there.
Yep, Old Man Corcoran is back, and this time he won't leave Ryan alone. The boy calls for aid, but nobody can rescue you from the undead.
Hello, police department.
While running away, Ryan sees that his little bro was right. There is a spooky station, where Old Man Corcoran shows up to reveal that he's actually a friendly ghost. Corcoran knows where the station is, but he can't move on because Chrissy took his place ascending. So he teams up with Gosling to save his bro. Though they better hurry, since my man Gottfried interferes.
What are you, crazy? I can lose my job!
What are you pissed about? You were the one who left him alone in your office, you dingus!
You big dummy.
You might want to be a bit nicer about the game, considering the fact that I'm the one with the motherfucking rifle!
Fed up, DJ Roy ups his schedule time. Chrissy tries to hide in the box closet.
I like boxes!
But the Reaper unleashes his Black Riders. Ghosts and Gosling run as fast as they can, but it's too late. Chris is a dead man.
Nobody escapes us.
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Why? You send souls away every day for all eternity. Why is slaughtering this one kid afraid of dying your eager kill?
Okay, you got me. I'm an asshole!
Gilbert Gottfried doesn't even need to act as a sinister villain here, yet he's just stoked to dump bratty children in hell. Maybe he's onto something. Don't fear, before Roy nearly gifts him a free stay at Hasbin Hotel, Ryan Gosling and Old Man Corcoran show up just in time to save the day.
That's my brother, he's not dead!
Really?
Yes, finally.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, we still have time to kill. Old Man Corcoran and Ryan chew out Roy for screwing up, telling him that he mailed the wrong soul. This angers God to the point where the afterlife spits our hero back out, since it's not his time yet.
They didn't want me.
Well, I guess that makes you a total loser. Hooray, our goth homie's fine, but DJ Roy isn't so lucky.
They said I wasn't dead.
Uh-oh.
They also said they wanted to have a word with you.
Oh, great. There goes my pension.
Wait, pension? You mean you're getting paid for doing this? Earlier you said...
If I had a dime for every time somebody tried to weasel out of dead, it would actually do me no good at all, because I'm dead. What do I need money for? What am I going to do? I'm dead. What am I going to do? Buy gum? Oh, great. There goes my pension.
Great continuity!
God dang it, are you afraid of the dark? You couldn't even keep minor consistency? I expected more from this children's fantasy show. But I digress. Everything's perfectly A-okay. Chrissy gets to live, he and Old Man Corcoran finally switch places, Gilbert Gottfried gets a 5% pay cut, the divine world is balanced once more, and Mr. Reaper apologizes for that whole trying to kill a kid thing.
All right, let's not make a federal case out of this. So I made a teensy-weensy little mistake, and I was about to send an innocent young boy to his death. What, none of you ever did that before?
Oh, Gilbert Gottfried, we forgive you. No, seriously, they forgive him. DJ Roy is such a lovable scamp that he's more easily forgiven for his crimes than Starlight Glimmer. The power of being Gilbert Gottfried, y'all.
You can't come in here unless you're in the Union.
Chris is rewarded life again, while Old Man Corcoran moves on. But after living out a life versus death nightmare, Chris ponders if death is really a good thing, where the episode grants us a surprise touching twist.
Aren't you afraid it'll be horrible?
It's only horrible if you've led a bad life. If you led a good life, it's the best thing going.
Yep, this was our big twist, and a rather shockingly heartwarming end for such a zany story. The portal takes a soul to hell or heaven based upon what kind of life you lived out. We mostly saw bad people getting dragged off to the pits, yet never got the whole story. If you're a good person in life, then you're given a good conclusion, where Chrissy is taught a lesson on how life is worth cherishing, because you'll never know when it can end, or where you'll end up. I am shocked at how profound and sweet this conclusion is, since it's a rather mature and deep concept to teach kids. Especially since this is the same episode where Gilbert Gottfried and the Dementors run Purgatory like the DMV. It's unholy how grand this moral is. Life isn't about obsessing over stupid stuff or anticipating death. It's about us finding our happiness and appreciating what we have. Live now or else you waste time. Mad respect to you, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it even changes Chrissy's worldview, as in the end he ungoffs, hangs with his bro, and finally learns to respect life, now that he knows it's worth living. Confirming his growth, he even frees his tormented insects, realizing that all life is precious. Beautiful show. Very beautiful. But it's still not over yet, cause we also wrap up the Stig arc. Oh, did this story get him in Club Midnight?
Well, like we said, it has to be unanimous.
And you're in!
Oh, hallelujah! Stig's so in! His plot about the pool zombie failed to amaze, but his tale about Gilbert Gottfried running the Purgatory DMV was the real ace card. Let's celebrate by having Stig never share another story ever again. I'm Serial. This story, the one that got Stig a seat at the table, was also his last story, since he just hangs in the background for the rest of his tenure. Go! But my, oh my, what a delightfully deranged note to go out on, because this episode is frickin' awesome! The tale of Station 109.1 is a fantabulous fable, for it holds genuine comedy gold, vivid imagination, a thrilling fantasy adventure, terrific performances, low-key nightmare fuel, and most surprising, a deep moral lesson on valuing your life, since you'll never know when it'll be cut short, or if you're a spiritual person, where you'll go to next depending on how you spent your existence. Not only do I consider this Are You Afraid of the Dark's Uncle Howie, but I truly believe it's superior. I love this episode so much, and this is coming from a cat who doesn't even consider himself an Are You Afraid of the Dark fan whatsoever. It is just that good. Our main character is essentially a naive wannabe goth who admires death, yet fails to realize the value of life. He enters this station to gain more interest in the supernatural, only for some hilarity and grim turns to ensue, where his life is placed in jeopardy. While we all laugh at Gilbert Gottfried's wackiness and the wild scenarios, this episode is ultimately a cautionary tale where this child learns the seriousness behind death and how he shouldn't take his existence for granted, 'cause you'll never know your destiny. This is a darn intriguing lesson for a children's show to detail, let alone in a wacky comedy episode, which makes you kind of admire it overall. Unlike other kids shows where they try throwing in too much or fail to balance out differing moods like this, Station 109.1 manages to make it work completely. They know when to have a small serious moment when it matters most, and when to perfectly time the goofy antics so they're actually funny and avoid poisoning the tone or endgame of the story. The kid actors are good, but it goes without saying that the highlight of this episode is naturally DJ Roy. Gilbert Gottfried is of course the dandy element of this show, since he is laugh-out-loud funny, charismatic, silly, eccentric, and even shows shades of a deeper character underneath. You bet your tail I love this episode precisely because of him, like everyone else. However, unlike many other arcs from this show, where they relied way too much on the star power of a celebrity to be enough to hold an episode, such as Bobcat Goldthwait's Sandman, or the Riddler as a time-traveling demon, DJ Roy actually does feel like a unique person. Gilbert's performance formed him into a genuine character, and not some one-trick pony. He's clearly not a vile psychopath. He's just a bitter, overworked schmo doing his day job, and at the end he clearly holds no ill will towards the heroes. Roy is actually a jerk with a heart of gold deep down. He acts like an anger-prone dick, but we see that he does kindly help lost souls find their way home, and he even assists them in ascending to an unknown new path. He's not a sick bastard, he's just a guy doing what he believes is the correct choice. Since they wanted him to be a funny foe, it was a great step by making him a misunderstood, well-intentioned guy, over a dastardly demon who kills without remorse and does too many terrible atrocities that would have made him unlikable. It may seem simple, but the fact that DJ Roy wasn't an irredeemable boogeyman does help the morally gray theme of the episode as a whole. DJ Roy mentions he used to be alive at one point, so it's clear he's an angel or spirit guide of some type, which definitely makes him more interesting compared to a random monster from nowhere. I like how our antagonist wasn't even devious, but just some guy who made an error, since it shows how good horror stories could be when they don't require a big bad evil monster doing all the scares. But yes, you all know the real reason why he's ultra popular. Gilbert Gottfried's just so funny. This guy is easily the funniest character I've ever seen on a horror anthology saga, and that includes the Crypt Keeper. Unless you're not a fan of Gilbert Gottfried's angry voice, you cannot have a bad time watching this clown.
It's a lie! That's what it is! It's a lie! Why don't you try waiting in the line?
The adventure as a whole is also good enough to support its deep moral and wacky antics. As per norm for this series, we follow a kid thrusted into a paranormal realm trying to fight his way out, either changing for the better or die failing. Honestly, this might be one of the most fun experiments the show ever tried. They kept the skeleton of their usual formula, but it was totally different compared to other versions, simply because they made use of their talent and went all in on the magical world. Many people claim that this is one of the best tales from the franchise, and I completely agree. Underneath all the goofy hijinks and gags lies a great story, elevating this tale sky high. While I love good comedy, I also like good stories, and Station 109.1 has both good comedy and a good story. This episode is a masterpiece, which formed this show into a household name thanks to all the effort and insane fun it offers us. I never thought I'd ever say this, but this episode is so great that it made the DMV interesting. Stig's tale is an entertaining treasure that you'll certainly want to tune in for. So, I grant our final Are You Afraid of the Dark tale a gold skull and a perfect score. This is a 10 out of 10 legend thanks to how thrilling it is. A non-Are You Afraid of the Dark fan is recommending this, so you know it's gotta be that godlike. Great comedy, phenomenal lesson, trippy storytelling, unnerving tension, good acting, and best of all, Gilbert Gottfried at his S rank. This is a gripping broadcast that must reach everyone across the heavens. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and
hey, I've got a bone to pick with you!
Oh my gosh, it's Gilbert Gottfried! Ow! Oh, Gilbert Gottfried hit me on my noggin.
I'm playing Iago! Don't ruin the illusion for the kids, you stupid feline!
Why are you here?
I want my money! You use my image for your stupid review show without my consent! You owe me my royalty fees! And don't think you can screw me over like how Nick does with half the creators! I'm here in the now for what's mine! Or else I'm suing you for all you got! Why are you even called Wolf Entertainment when that stupid wolf's gone hibernating half the decade and given the show over to a stupid cat? Hello? That's confusing! And another thing! You keep promising